This message from God has reached you in the exact moment your spirit was ready to receive it. And if you are here right now, it is not coincidence, not confusion, not imagination. It is divine alignment guiding you into the next chapter of your calling. I am speaking directly to the chosen one who has been searching for answers, carrying silent battles, and wondering why the weight on your soul has felt heavier than most can understand. This is your confirmation. This is your moment of spiritual awakening. This is the moment where the veil lifts and you finally recognize that God has been speaking to you through every struggle, every delay, every betrayal, and every storm. If you feel aligned with what is already stirring in your spirit, comment 777, because this message is here to activate the truth you have tried to deny for far too long. Chosen one, the reason this message from God feels so personal, so piercing, and so familiar is because your soul has heard it before. Long before your mind understood it, your spirit recognized that you were called. There is a divine calling over your life that cannot be ignored anymore. You have been sensing it in the restlessness that keeps you awake, in the intuition that never lies to you, in the strange certainty that you were meant for something more than the life you've been living. This is not fantasy. This is not ego. This is not a random emotional moment. This is God reminding you of who you are, what you carry, and why the battles of your life have always been deeper than what others could see. You were not led here accidentally. You were guided, pulled, and drawn by a force that has been watching over you since the day you were born. Even when you felt alone, even when you were misunderstood, even when people spoke against you or tried to diminish your light, heaven never stopped seeing you. Every closed door, every betrayal, every moment you felt unworthy was shaping you into the chosen one you were destined to become. The attacks against you were not random. They were recognition. Your enemies saw your light before you did. The people who spoke against you weren't reacting to your flaws. They were reacting to your potential, your anointing, your unexplainable glow. They sensed your divine calling and tried to silence it before you discovered it yourself. But God has been watching all of it. Every whispered lie, every hidden intention, every word spoken against you in the dark places. Nothing has been unseen. Nothing has been overlooked. And now, heaven is preparing a public turnaround in your life that will silence every voice that tried to rise against you. You may feel tired, but your spirit is awakening. You may feel unsure, but your destiny is becoming clearer. You may feel like the warfare has been intensifying, but that is because you are crossing the threshold of your next level. When the divine calling in a chosen one becomes active, the spiritual resistance grows louder, the war becomes real, the pressure increases. And that pressure is the sign that God is about to shock everyone who doubted you, judged you, misread you, or tried to break you. This is your moment of truth, the season where God reveals why you went through everything you went through, the moment where your spirit finally understands that the pain was preparation, the silence was protection, and the delays were divine timing. Your spiritual awakening is not coming. It is happening right now. Your calling is not approaching. It is unfolding. Your destiny is not distant. It is present. You are walking into the season where God's vindication becomes visible, where divine justice becomes undeniable, where your enemies are silenced not by your words but by God's actions. Circle back to this truth. This is a message from God. You are not imagining your purpose. You are not imagining the shift in your spirit. You are not imagining the spiritual weight you carry. You were called. You were chosen. Your light is necessary in this world. And the same God who watched every battle is now preparing your breakthrough, your elevation, and your vindication. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. The weight of being the chosen one. Being the chosen one is not a title you gave yourself. It is a divine calling placed over your life long before you understood what it meant. And with that calling comes a weight that only a few souls on this earth will ever truly understand. You have walked through seasons that felt too heavy for one person to carry, and yet you survived. You have endured betrayals that cut deeper because they came from people you trusted. You have faced spiritual resistance that made you question your own worth, your own strength, even your own sanity. But hear this clearly. None of it happened by accident. Everything you went through was a direct response to the light you carry, the destiny you hold, and the truth that you are spiritually set apart. When God chooses someone, life does not get easier, it gets more intentional. And everything you faced was part of that intention. From the very beginning, you sensed you were different. Even as a child, you felt things deeply, saw things others overlooked, and carried wisdom that didn't match your age. You noticed the way people reacted to you, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with confusion, sometimes with hostility you never deserved. You didn't understand it then, but now, as your spiritual awakening unfolds, you are beginning to see the pattern. People were responding not to who you were, but to the divine calling inside you. Your very presence stirred emotions, triggered insecurities, and exposed truths in others they tried to avoid. That's why the jealousy appeared out of nowhere. That's why you became the target of envy without doing anything wrong. That's why false accusations were thrown at you, even when you lived with purity of heart. Your existence was enough to challenge their comfort. Your spirit was enough to disrupt their darkness. And so they spoke against you, not because you were weak, but because your light was too real to ignore. This is what many chosen ones never hear. Jealousy is spiritual before it becomes personal. Envy is energetic before it becomes verbal. People felt something in you long before you knew how to name it. They sensed a greatness you had not yet stepped into. They saw a glow you had not yet embraced. And instead of celebrating you, they tried to diminish you. Instead of supporting you, they tried to break you. Instead of acknowledging your divine calling, they tried to bury it under criticism, misunderstanding, or silence. But God saw all of it. Nothing was hidden. Nothing was missed. Every lie, every rumor, every betrayal was recorded in the spiritual realm, and none of it will go unanswered. The spiritual warfare you experienced is proof of who you are. When darkness senses a rising light, it reacts. When your destiny becomes active, the opposition intensifies. You weren't fighting flesh and blood, you were fighting spiritual forces that recognized your identity before you did. That's why your loneliness felt sacred, why your silence felt heavy, why your battles felt supernatural. You weren't just going through life, you were walking through a battlefield designed to strengthen you, sharpen you, and prepare you for your purpose. Most people will never understand the emotional weariness that comes with being a chosen one. You weren't just tired, you were spiritually exhausted from carrying responsibilities you didn't ask for, but were born to fulfill. You weren't just misunderstood, you were misread by people who lacked the spiritual eyes to see who you really were. They saw your sensitivity as weakness. They saw your compassion as naivety. They saw your isolation as failure. But God saw purpose in every part of you, and God's message is becoming clearer with every passing day. The misunderstanding you faced wasn't because you were unworthy, it was because you were unmatched. People projected their insecurities onto you because your spirit mirrored their truth. They rejected you because your presence revealed what they needed to heal. They spoke against you because their hearts could not handle the purity of your own. But the divine justice of God is not blind, and the time has come for that justice to unfold. You survived what was meant to destroy you. You rose above battles that weren't yours to begin with. And now, behind the scenes, God is preparing a reversal that will silence every voice that tried to rise against you. The weight you carried was the proof of your assignment. The loneliness you felt was the evidence of your separation. The heartbreak you endured was the doorway to your awakening. And now your spiritual awakening is no longer subtle. It is active, alive, and unstoppable. You are stepping into the version of yourself that God always knew you would become. You are rising into the strength you didn't know you had. You are growing into the identity that was spoken over your life long before you knew how to hear God's message. Everything is aligning. Everything is shifting. Everything is coming together exactly as it was always meant to. Circle back to this truth. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the heaviness of your journey. You are not imagining the spiritual attacks. You are not imagining the pull on your soul. You are called. The war is real. Your light is necessary. You are the chosen one, and nothing about your path has been random. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. God sits, vindication begins behind the scenes. Right now, even as you listen to these words, God is already moving in ways you cannot see. This season of your life is not silent, not stagnant, not empty. It is spiritually active, spiritually alive, and spiritually shifting in your favor. God's vindication is already unfolding behind the scenes, and heaven has begun aligning circumstances, people, and outcomes to fulfill what was spoken over your life, long before you ever understood your divine calling. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Everything that has been happening, every delay, every disappointment, every betrayal, has been part of a higher orchestration designed to prepare you for the moment God lifts you publicly in a way that even your enemies will not be able to deny. When you are the chosen one, God often works in the unseen realm first. While you may feel like nothing is changing, everything is actually shifting beneath the surface. The spiritual realm always moves before the physical world catches up. And right now, that movement is toward divine justice. God has started to rearrange the story of your life. God has begun to expose intentions, dismantle hidden plots, and remove the influence of those who spoke against you. People who once had power over your reputation, your opportunities, or your peace are finding that their words no longer carry weight. Their attempts to harm you spiritually have begun to crumble. The very energies they sent out are returning to them, not because you asked for revenge, but because spiritual law always returns what is released. This is why lies, gossip, and betrayal carry more weight than people realize. Words are not just sounds, they are spiritual seeds. Every lie that was spoken about you planted its own consequence. Every act of betrayal initiated its own spiritual correction. And every word spoken against the chosen one activated a divine response. God saw the moments when others tried to dim your light. God heard the conversations you didn't hear. God observed the intentions behind the smiles. Nothing escaped his sight. And now the rebalancing has already begun. But before vindication becomes visible, God often allows darkness for a season. That darkness was not abandonment. It was preparation. God allowed certain people to reveal themselves so you could finally detach. God allowed certain doors to close so you wouldn't walk into the wrong destiny. God allowed the pressure so your spirit would grow strong enough to hold the blessing that is coming. Being chosen never means being shielded from challenge. It means that every challenge has purpose. You were strengthened through storms that would have broken someone without your calling. You were shaped through seasons that looked unfair but were necessary for your spiritual awakening. God allowed the attacks because he knew they would not destroy you. They would expose you, refine you, and elevate you. And now, the shift has begun. Vindication is never quiet. When God vindicates a chosen one, the atmosphere changes. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Closed doors suddenly open. People who once ignored you start seeking you. Blessings that were delayed for years suddenly accelerate. This is the silent roar of God's vindication, subtle at first, unstoppable soon after. You may not see the full picture yet, but the spiritual groundwork is already complete. What comes next will be visible, undeniable, and transformative. Your enemies are being silenced, not by your hands, not by your anger, but by the undeniable moves of God. Those who misjudged you will be forced to watch you rise. Those who spoke against you will see God place your name in rooms they never imagined you would enter. Those who doubted you will witness favor fall over your life in ways that contradict every negative word they ever released. This is the divine justice unfolding. This is the reversal of the narrative that once held you down. God is about to take what was meant to break you and turn it into the very reason you are elevated. Behind the scenes, things are shifting in your favor with a precision only God could orchestrate. That sudden urge to detach from certain people was not random. It was protection. That intense tiredness before your breakthrough was not laziness. It was spiritual transition. That feeling that something big is about to happen is not wishful thinking. It is your spirit sensing a divine change. You are not imagining the movement. You are not imagining the energy shift. Your soul is responding to what God has already begun. God's vindication always arrives when the enemy believes you are forgotten. It arrives when the world underestimates you. It arrives when those who spoke against you assume their words succeeded. But God has a way of rewriting stories in the most unexpected ways. He does not just lift his chosen ones, he lifts them publicly. He does not just restore, he restores in a way that silences every doubter. And he does not just heal, he transforms the wound into a weapon of wisdom. You are entering a season where the narrative flips. The same people who whispered about you will witness God put you in positions they swore you would never reach. The same people who tried to bury your name will hear it spoken with honor. The same voices that once criticized you will fall silent because the evidence of God's favor will be too undeniable to argue with. God is about to shock everyone who spoke against you, not with destruction, not with revenge, but with elevation, blessing, opportunity, and divine favor so visible that not even your enemies can deny it. Circle back to this truth once more. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the shift. You are not imagining the war. You are not imagining the calling. You were chosen. Your light is necessary. And the spiritual fire rising within you right now is the sign that your breakthrough has already begun. God's vindication is not coming. It is unfolding. Divine justice is not promised. It is active. And your rise is not distant, it is near. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. The moment God shocks everyone who spoke against you, there comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when God steps in so powerfully, so undeniably, so visibly, that no voice raised against them can continue speaking. This is the moment when God's vindication breaks out of the unseen realm and becomes the living testimony that stands in front of every critic, every doubter, every enemy who ever believed you wouldn't make it. This moment is approaching you now, closer than you think, closer than you feel, closer than you have ever imagined. And when it arrives, it will not be subtle. It will not be quiet. It will not be hidden. It will be a divine shift that shocks every single person who thought they understood your story, your capacity, your destiny, or your worth. For so long, you have been overlooked, underestimated, misjudged, and dismissed. People assumed they knew your potential. They thought your silence meant weakness. They thought your kindness meant naivety. They thought your isolation meant defeat. But they did not see the divine calling working inside you. They did not sense the spiritual fire growing beneath the surface. They did not understand that you were being prepared by God, shaped in private for a public season that only heaven could authorize. God has been holding you back, not to punish you, but to preserve you for a moment of revealing that will silence every voice that ever rose against you. This moment, this divine moment, is the moment when everything shifts at once. Suddenly, the blessings that were delayed begin to fall into place. Suddenly, opportunities that were shut open wide. Suddenly, favor that seemed distant begins to surround your life. Suddenly, the recognition you never received begins to arrive from unexpected directions. This is the nature of God's vindication. It comes suddenly, and when it comes, it carries an authority that no human hand can deny. Those who once mocked you will not understand how you rose so high so quickly. Those who doubted you will not comprehend how you gained access to places they never imagined you would enter. The same people who dismissed your efforts, laughed at your dreams, whispered about your struggles, and spoke against your name will watch as God lifts you above every limitation they tried to attach to you. And they will see it, not from a distance, but from a front row seat, because God always ensures that those who tried to bury you become witnesses to your resurrection. This is divine justice, not revenge, not cruelty, not punishment, but justice, the spiritual realignment that returns you to your rightful position as the chosen one. And when God raises a chosen one, He does it publicly. He does it undeniably. He does it in a way that silences every enemy without you ever needing to defend yourself. No arguing, no proving, no fighting for your name. God fights for you, and His results speak louder than any words you could ever say. Your humiliation will be transformed into honor. The seasons where you felt invisible will become the testimony that supports your elevation. The moments where you cried in silence will become the reason others celebrate you openly. The suffering you endured will become the stage for your breakthrough, and the attacks you survived will become the evidence of your strength, your endurance, and your unshakable divine calling. God is not merely restoring what was taken from you, He is preparing to give you more than you lost, more peace, more clarity, more favor, more opportunity, more spiritual authority. You are stepping into a season where everything that was withheld is returned sevenfold, and everything that was delayed arrives more powerfully than you expected. You are entering a chapter where the divine calling over your life is no longer hidden beneath pain or doubt. It becomes visible, active, and unstoppable. And when God moves you into this new season, those who spoke against you will not have the power to interfere. Their words will fall powerless. Their judgments will lose their effect. Their attempts to sabotage you will collapse before they even begin. Enemies fall silent when God speaks, because His voice carries an authority that shakes the spiritual realm. Their silence is not forced. It is a direct result of God proving Himself through you. This is the moment where God shocks them. This is the moment where your breakthrough becomes undeniable. This is the moment where every false assumption, every cruel comment, every whispered lie is overshadowed by the brilliance of God's favor. This is the moment where the chosen one rises, not slowly, not quietly, but suddenly, decisively, and gloriously. Your life is about to become the evidence of God's vindication. Your story is about to become the testimony that others speak of. Your journey is about to become the sign of divine justice manifesting here and now. What's coming next for you is not a repeat of what you lost. It is the beginning of what you were always meant to walk into, bigger, brighter, stronger, more aligned with your purpose than ever before. And as this rise begins, your spirit will recognize something familiar, the truth God told you from the beginning. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the shift. You are not imagining your awakening. You are not imagining the spiritual weight growing within you. You were called. You were chosen. The war was real because your purpose is real. The opposition was fierce because your light is necessary. Everything you endured was forming the version of you that God is about to reveal to the world. Circle back to this truth one more time. This message is your confirmation. This awakening is your sign. This rise is your destiny. You are the chosen one, and God is about to shock everyone who ever spoke against you. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called. Conclusion: your divine vindication has been released. Your spirit didn't arrive here by accident. From the very beginning of this message, something in you recognized the truth. This wasn't just a video. This wasn't just a voice. This was a message from God sent directly into your path. And now that you've reached this moment, the final sealing of what heaven has released over your life is being stamped into your destiny. Your divine vindication has been released, and nothing in this world or in the spirit realm can stop what God has declared over you. You are a chosen one, stepping into a season where every battle, every tear, every silent suffering is about to be answered by God Himself. This is the moment where your spiritual awakening becomes active, alive, and undeniable. You may have spent years feeling overlooked, underestimated, forgotten, or pushed aside. But what you didn't know was that God was not ignoring you. He was preparing you. The rejection was the refining. The isolation was the initiation. And now the very things that once broke you are becoming the foundation of your strength. Heaven is making it clear your divine calling has been activated, and you are no longer walking in confusion. You are walking in purpose, clarity, and spiritual authority. God is about to shock everyone who spoke against you. Not through revenge, not through rage, not through earthly battles, but through the undeniable force of His favor. Those who whispered your name with doubt, those who laughed at your faith, those who mocked your dreams, those who walked away when you needed them most, they will witness your elevation with their own eyes. Your breakthrough will not be hidden. Your blessings will not be silent. Your rise will not be in the shadows. God will raise you in a way that cannot be denied, cannot be questioned, cannot be ignored. This vindication is not coming someday. It has already begun. The shift has already happened in the spirit, and now it is moving toward you in the physical realm. The doors that were locked are unlocking. The opportunities that seemed impossible are forming. The blessings that were delayed are accelerating. What was meant to break you is becoming the very proof of who God has chosen you to be. You are stepping into a chapter where everything that once worked against you will be overturned by God's justice and rewritten by His hands. Do not fear the path ahead. You have survived the hardest parts already. What's coming next is not warfare. It's reward. It's restoration. It's revelation. It's the kind of breakthrough that shows you why the struggle was worth it. You are walking forward with a spiritual fire that no darkness can extinguish. You are moving with a clarity that confusion cannot interrupt. You are rising with a strength that no enemy can challenge. And now let this truth echo in your spirit. You were called. You were chosen. You were marked by heaven long before anyone understood your purpose. This message from God was sent to confirm what your soul has quietly known. You are necessary. Your light is needed. Your presence matters. And your path is protected. As this message comes to a close, feel the warmth, the authority, and the reassurance of what God is sealing over your life. Your divine vindication has been released. Your breakthrough has been spoken. Your name has been lifted in heaven, and your new season has already begun. If this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called.